Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. Just quickly, there's a story I think we all need to be following, and that is Turkey. They had a very bad day with their currency on Friday. It dropped 13% against the US dollar. It's not a story that just kind of came out of the blue in one day. This has been developing for a long time. Year to date, the Turkish lira is down 80% against the US dollar. And so the 13% drop really brought this story into the spotlight, and it set off a few alarm bells within the financial markets. I think it has triggered a very much down day with the cryptocurrency market too. Now remember that research paper that was done by the two Yale researchers, they talk about the two driving factors that have the impact on price movements. One is momentum, and the second one is market sentiment. So when we see a little bit of fear within the global markets, it has a momentum that takes everything with it, either up or down. In the case right now, we are seeing a downward movement, and it just is dragging everybody down with it. It has a domino effect. It's the trigger. So I think we're going to come out of this just fine, even though the story on Friday also affected some emerging market currencies as well, like the rand in South Africa, and then the peso in Mexico, and Russia was affected, Poland, Hungary, Indonesia, China, and India. But they'll get a handle on it. The markets will calm, and I'm sure we're going to see some green days ahead. But until then, money moves out of risky investments and goes into more safer or safe haven assets. And one of those assets right now is the US dollar. So that's what I think is happening. But let's all just pay attention to this story. And that's what I wanted to bring to your attention. Okay. This is a 14-page document that was published and put out for the public view yesterday. It is from the Financial Service Agency in Japan called the FSA. They are the watchdog that oversee the exchanges. And they have decided that this market is needing a little more rigorous oversight. I think it's a good thing. We need to have a not just only a healthy and stable market, but a safe market. And the 2017 growth that this industry saw has created a situation where some of the exchanges on average have one employee managing 29 million US dollars. And that is kind of a yikes, and created a more stronger, active participation for regulation within the market here in Japan. There were 23 cryptocurrency exchanges that were observed, and it is, I think, going to be that much harder for the new ones that are in the queue to get accepted to fully operate. They mentioned that there are hundreds of applications that are in. Wow. So they are not only looking at the anti-money laundering, but their number one priority is for investor protection. I think it's a good thing, and I look at this as a positive story. Okay, this is, if you are a holder of Ripple, this is probably a website that you want to be aware of, because the news and analysis that comes off the payments compliance website is a little different than what you'll see in the regular news aggregators. So this is a platform that's used by payment service providers, banks, regulators, fintechs, and law firms. It's a platform that has a business model of a subscription fee based for access. But if you want to try their trial, and if you're serious about following regulatory changes and have up-to-date news and analysis, I think this might be interesting for you. So as you can see, this is a story that kind of went under the radar. So the Chinese mobile wallet giant Alipay, which is part of Alibaba, was slapped with a fine. So an enforcement drive in China's trillion-dollar payment sector is gathering momentum after mobile wallet behemoth, I love that word, Alipay was fined more than 4 million yen or 600,000 US dollars by the country's central bank. So basically, the Shanghai branch of the People's Bank of China published this document on Tuesday and revealed the penalty for the violation of payments business rules, and they put this against Alipay. Alipay is owned by Ant Financial, and as you know, Ant Financial falls under the Alipay or the Alibaba umbrella, which is Jack Ma. So I just wanted to bring to light this story, but also the payments compliance website. And in addition to sources to help keep you abreast of all of what's going on in this space, I don't know if you know about Glassdoor. So Glassdoor is a place that you can look at companies globally, reviews. And those reviews come from employees that have mostly left the company. Sometimes you get a review of somebody who's currently in the company, but for the most part, it's kind of exit reviews. And people will give their pros, their cons, and their advice to management. And I think if you are going to get close to your enemy, as Sun Tzu in The Art of War says you must do to be competitive, you need to see exactly what is happening. And just like Alipay is going head-to-head with Ripple, Swift is also going head-to-head with Ripple. And these are the reviews that are from employees who have worked with Swift. Now, I looked at some of them, and of the 173, there's a lot of them that complain about salary, of course. I don't really care about that. And there's some people who are complaining about the internal politics. I really don't care about that either. What I wanted to look at is there any insight as to what's going on with the actual business or IT end of the internal work? So here is one comment that I thought was interesting. An engineer wrote that the technology is old and not competitive. A full-time worker of 8 years said Swift has bad dispatch loads. And someone who's been there for a year says the technologies are not proprietary. Another person says they're slow like a snail for changes, like a government agency. Aging technology, middle management is incompetent. There was a hiring freeze in Belgium. I didn't know, but in 2017, many people were complaining about the hiring freeze. Belgium is the headquarters for Swift. Someone wrote, there's an issue in IT that everybody knows about, but nothing is done. And then in addition, I want to read this one that is the advice to management. So at Swift, it is all about sales now, and the salespeople will sell anything these days to banks for the sake of meeting their sales targets and getting their personal compensation checks. Trusting the old reputation of Swift, the bank pay tens, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars or euros in license costs for something they don't need, in certain cases for something Swift doesn't even charge the other bank for. So the banks think Swift is a not-for-profit corporate, so they can trust it blindly, forgetting the commission checks the salespeople get are real money and they are for their personal profit. I thought that was quite interesting. This is Saketova. He is a Japanese gentleman who lives here in Japan, and he created something very interesting for Ripple investors, and I'll show you that in a second. First, I want to take a look. He is at the Rising Rock Rising Sun Rock Music Festival this weekend, which takes place in Hokkaido. And it's, I don't want to say it's like a Woodstock, but it's kind of like a Woodstock. It's outdoors. People bring their tents and their camping gear and hang out for 2 days and have fun and listen to music. Unfortunately, the weather did not cooperate, and Hokkaido got a lot of rain, and it was just one big soupy mud lake that looked miserable. So I'm sorry that the weather was so bad. I think it was even bad last year. You know, this is typhoon season, and it gets very wet, and there's just a lot of rain up north from that typhoon that passed over Tokyo a couple of days ago. So unfortunately, for the music lovers, it was not so good for weather. But Saketova used the Google map and created something very fun and cool. It is a global view with an interactive navigation, either from the left or from the right, where you can see where there is a Ripple footprint. And the footprint is either in an exchange and or a bank or a business that is doing business with Ripple. So you can see I had clicked on Shinsei Bank, which is one of the SBI holdings banks. But if we take a look, it is divided by exchanges, and there is the RippleNet users, there's other companies, there's Moja Loop, which is part of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation project. So let's see, what do we want to look at here? Look at this. It's just really shows you the incredible global reach that Ripple has. Look at this. This is with everybody who's using the RippleNet. And if we let's just pick somebody here. This is SBI Remit. It'll just take you right into Japan and focus on Tokyo. If you want to go down and get a tighter view, there's Setagaya, there is Shibuya. This is where I went yesterday to go have coffee with my miner friend. He mines Monacoin, which is down to like $2 a coin right now, and he's not so happy about that. He had a good year with mining, but he's just hanging in there right now because the price is a little low. So we can go down and take a look. Like if I click on here, this is actually the SBI Remit location. They're close to the Midtown section of Tokyo. Let's see, let's take a look. Who is this? This is Tokyo Star Bank. I have a good friend that works there too. Let's take a look here. This is Japan Post. This is Yubinkyoku. This is the post office. Yeah, that's now, they also sell life insurance, and they are into the financials as well. It's a little different than the United States. They have become privatized too. Who is this? This is Sony. I have to move myself. I'm sorry. This is Sony Bank. Okay, got it. So anyway, this is fun, isn't it? I'm going to put the link down in the comment section below, because if you want to play with the links and see who is where, I think it's very fun. All right. Now, when I looked at Saketova's Twitter site and saw that he was at the Rising Sun Rock Festival, I thought, I want to talk about music for the Fluff Story, because there is something unique here in Japan when it comes to music. And that is this virtual Vocaloid called Hatsune Miku. And if you don't know, in Japan, they use the last name first and the first name last, if that makes sense. So her name is actually Miku, but when you are speaking Japanese, it would be Hatsune Miku. And Miku is a Vocaloid, which is a virtual character, and she can sell out a concert venue of nearly 40,000 seats. And not only is she super popular, but she's part of the music scene here in a big way. If you don't know that Japan's music scene is the largest physical music market in the world. So I think all of you know karaoke, right? Because it's a word that has now gone global, just like sushi or wasabi. And this particular virtual character is really unique. Let's take a look. This is a 10th anniversary concert that took place, sold out. And when I play it here for you, you can see all the fans use this lighted cone to participate, if you will, in their way with the concert music. And this is a great website because it has the English translation, so you can actually follow what the lyrics mean and you can listen to it. I'll put the link down in the comment section. She is very anime-ish in her style. She's got a little bit of a sexy look with this long, beautiful turquoise hair and big round eyes. I just think she grows on you. And her music is very high pitched. It might sound unusual to you when you first hear it, but if you listen enough, you'll find that you might become a Miku fan, which is what her fans are called. The concerts are sold out so often, and you can go if you just want a regular ticket. It's not too expensive, but most of her fans will spend up to $200 to $400 for a package. And that package will have some limited edition souvenirs that are very collectible. And people do pay for those big packages. So you can see the light show that also takes place in her concerts. Visually, it's very stimulating. And I don't know, what do you think? Would you pay to go see a virtual character? She did sell out her concert in Los Angeles this year. In December, she's going to go to Cologne, Paris, and London. I think she will sell out there too as well. So I just love her. Look at the fans. Isn't that something? All right, everybody. That was your fluff for today. Have a listen to Miku's music and take care. Have a great weekend. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.